Alright guys, by the time this video gets published, it'll be a couple weeks in advance, and obviously you would have already seen me tearing apart this excursion as I am now, but I had a comment from one of my viewers on a video when I did an 08 dashboard removal. So now I'm going to do a 99 to 04 dashboard removal, or I mean I guess this is an 02 to 04, since it's a little bit different just with the wires, but the concept is pretty much the same. So I'm going to show you guys how to remove this dash very efficiently, get it out of the truck. I'll do my best I can filming, and the lighting in here is not excellent, but I'll just do my best. Like I said, get a little instructional video out to you guys who have been wanting to do this, or who have been wondering how it's done without taking a million pieces off unnecessarily. So let's get started, and I'll put you on a tripod and we'll get going. Actually, really quickly before I put you on a tripod here, I just want to explain the concept again, just to give us like a brief outline of how this is going to go. Basically, it's going to be like that 08 dash video where you got your bolts on the side and etc. in the different places, which I'll show you. You're going to unbolt them, and like your column, you're going to unbolt the shaft that's down below with the one bolt. And then that pretty much structurally frees this dash, and then the thing that's left would just be the wiring. Nonetheless, once you do that, it's pretty simple concept-wise. You're just going to unbolt the dash, and then we're going to unplug some wires. And on this model, you actually pull them through the firewall. They hook up right here, and you pull them through the firewall, and it's a piece of cake. But on the 99 to 01s, actually, there's a mount up here with 3 plugs like this. They'll stick into the firewall and be right there. So they're up and under. That's really the only difference. Everything else is pretty much the same. So let's get started here. I'll show you. Alright, so if you remember from that last 08 video that I made, kind of a similar thing. You're going to peel this back. Just kind of get the trim pieces out of your way for now. You got one little trim piece here, and then if you just kind of move this one out of the way, you can see there's another bolt under there. They're 10mm bolts. Take whatever impact wrench or ratchet you got, crank them out of there, get them off. Try to keep track of your bolts too. I mean, this is a parts truck for me, so I have a million of these bolts anyway, but that takes care of, there's 2 bolts on this side. We'll go over to the driver's side. Alright, now driver's side, same kind of concept. You're going to peel back this weather stripping here, and actually this little vent here comes off. You get a screwdriver. That little vent comes off. Alright, so now you just take your impact or ratchet, zip them 2 right off, get them out. There's those 2. Alright, for this next part I gotta put the flash on, come up under here, because I'm not gonna be able to do this one with the camera on. But you got a bolt up here by your feet. There's one right there. It's also 10mm. That one's kind of a tough one to get. You're probably gonna need a ratchet. And then you got your steering column directly above. See, this big shaft comes up, and right at the knuckle here. Ooh, my light's a little bright here. Literally right at the knuckle right here at the joint, you got another 10mm bolt right here that's holding this shaft into this column. So when you get that out, you can kind of push the shaft away, and the dash will separate there too. But just get them 2 off. I'm going to do them off camera because they're kind of a pain in the butt to film. Alright, now that you've done that, you just got these 2 up here. There's one right here, that goldish looking one, and then you've also got one underneath here, right here. There's one too. Get both of them out now, and you get those 2 out. Those are the 8mm ones, and then you come over to this one, pop this tab up, and there's actually a 7mm in there. That one's a 7, those 2 are 8s. And now you can really see how loosey-goosey this thing is. It's ready to come out. Look at that, flopping around. it's structurally unhooked. And for now, I'm leaving this one bolt in here just so it doesn't fall off and crush me. But at this point, I'm gonna go under here, get the flash on, and this is when I am gonna pull these wires through right here with this big grommet, because you'll get hung up on this if this is not taken off first. So you can kind of just fold it back, maybe use like a flat screwdriver or something. You want to pull it back through the firewall as well with these other two. You want to get them back so that there's a little bit of slack. And then even so, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to come down in here, and you're going to trace where those three come through. You can see them right on the firewall. They're going to come through, and they're going to plug into various places out here. Just unplug them. You just want to separate them. Alright, so now you get these 4 plugs down here free. Let me get my hand down here. These 4, get them free, and they'll pull through separately because they're the top harness that goes through. So just pull that one through once you get it done. Now you can see them a little better. These 4, I just pulled them back. You can see daylight up in there. Right there. Pulled them right through the hole. You're going to get them back like that. Alright, let me show you the next one we're going to do. We're going to skip down. Instead of this top one here, or this one right here, we're going to go down to the 3rd one, all the way at the bottom. And you'll just trace that little wire, you'll see it comes up. And, shoot, where is it here on my camera? Oh, there it is. It comes up into this little terminal joint right here, and that bolt comes down through the fender, hooks up right there. And that's just an easy, just unbolt it. And that one is just a single wire. It will pull through. That's actually the one that goes to your fuse box. So that's what powers your central junction box. Alrighty, now you just slide that one through the hole, and there it is. Good to go. Now we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so you notice the reason I skipped that one is because that one kind of comes up in here, and it ties into a couple of different things. It goes into your PCM, and kind of it's all attached to all that stuff, so that's a little bit of a mess. So rather than doing that, easy way to get it out is just to take these 2 and these 2 and let your fuse box come down, and then it's literally 3 plugs on the back side. You unplug them, and rather than pulling them this way, you're going to send them through the firewall that way, or at least just get them out of your way so you can get the dashboard loose. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, now you'll have a great visual back here. I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about. This is part of the wire. It just runs up. It's these 3 plugs, these first 3 right there. You just kind of trace it up. It's this one right here. It comes up and through. And it hooks up to all of them right there. So just unplug them. Simple. Alright, I got them unplugged. Here, just these 3, and then just literally, if you want to get them out of the way completely, send them through. Or the reason I actually pull the grommet this way is just so I have some slack when I'm working with them. So you're gonna have to push the grommet back through, or you can just leave them here because they're really not in the way too much. Just tuck them away or something. Get them over here, and tuck them over here or something. Get them out of your way, and then you can go ahead and loosely rebolt your fuse box back up, and then I'm just going to slap the fuse panel back over just so that when I flop it down, none of that stuff gets crushed or anything in there. And then I'll show you what we're going to do over here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is got that fuse panel reinstalled. I'm going to fold this thing down, kind of pull this side out. That side's still going to have a little bit hooked up to the HVAC box, but then other than that, that's pretty much it. Actually, you do have a plug down here behind this this panel. This panel pops out, and you got a plug that goes to the restraint system. There's a little module right there, restraint system, one little plug, so you can undo that. And also the one thing I always forget about is your shift cable. It goes underneath here. Mine, in this case, is already undone. It's dangling right there, but you just kind of pop it off, and then you'll be able to send it up through. But there's no transmission in this one, so it's already off. And don't forget to just pull that through the floor because you won't be able to get it out without that out. Alright, and actually while we're on the driver's side, you're going to have like this one little wire right here. That's for the e-brake. That just kind of slides off like this. Little spade connector. And then depending on what options you have, like this one has the motors for the brakes and stuff, like unhook all that. You got this plug down here on the brake and like the accelerator and stuff. Unhook that, and then this side for the most part is relatively free. You'll have this harness, which I'll come back to, but we're going to go over to the passenger side and show you a couple things there. Okay, and now for some HVAC stuff, got this little white plug right here for that. And then these little tubes, they come through and they just unhook like that. And then you actually have this red one that comes through, and this is for the defroster. It's an actuator. It comes down under here. You'll see it if you trace it. It's just like a 90. And oh, you pop it off, just like so. It's this little 90-degree thing. And then this one, I already unhooked it. There was this little white tube that was hooked up right here. Little clip comes off. And basically when you're doing this, just get all the things first that make this dash, like if it's tugging on the dash, unplug that first, and then we'll slowly be able to move this dash out. And you can see like the radio wire. Once we move this dash out, that'll be easier to get to. But just start with the things that are closer, and then we'll move on to the other things. It's just a matter of unplugging everything at this point, which is not that hard. Quick note too, I would also recommend just completely removing this. Since this is a parts truck, I don't care about this. But that cracked, and I kind of knew that was going to happen. But once again, I don't really care about any of this truck, other than mainly this dashboard. But your truck, you want to get that and pull that out so you don't crack it or whatnot. And now look at how much more room we have. You got this little plate down here, which is just held in with these little rivet things. And now we have so much more room. You're going to have this harness to unplug, and you got this antenna wire, this orange one. When you're ready to pull the antenna wire, it hooks up right here. You can take the fender off if you want, or you can actually just disconnect it from the back of the radio. But since I'm already this far in this truck, I just disconnected it. I pull it down and through a little hole here, and it comes out. But once again, if you don't want to do that, sometimes there's like another connection point along the way, or you'll have it on the radio. You can just unplug it back there and take it off these little plastic clampers here and just leave it on the truck side. Alright, so now we're at this point where I got this black harness that comes down. It's just a bunch of plugs, and you got like a ground right here, which I'll unhook. This is completely free. This is completely free. So this side is all good and not hooked up to the truck anymore. So then we're going to go to the driver's side. You got this big harness right here. This is the one that kind of splits and goes over here to the vehicle security module. And it also comes down here. There's a plug. You can see right there. There's that plug. And then I actually have this little plug. These are for the motors, for the feet. And then this thing comes in, and it'll actually hook to the bottom of the fuse box, which we have access to now. We can just reach our hand down there, down in here, and grab it and kind of unhook it. Or, I mean, if you really wanted to take this whole thing off, you could. But, and just the sake of doing the dashboard and easily removing it, I think it's just easier just to disconnect it from down here. And I want to actually show you something that this one had. It had a wire that came down under here, and it wasn't plugged in anything, but I couldn't get it because the rug was covering it. So I just peeled the rug back, and now I got it. This dashboard is completely free, and now I can get it out of the truck. Alright guys, now check that out. Free dash out of the truck. It was a little bit more work than I anticipated because peeling this rug back was a pain in the butt. Nonetheless, you guys got to see how to take one of these dashes out. It's a little more work than the newer ones, but this is the easiest way to really do it without taking everything off, or without leaving your harness in the truck, because if you're going to be doing a dash swap, you want to kind of build it out of the truck. So the harness coming out of the truck is the easiest way, and that's it. That's it. Alright guys, well, that's going to conclude the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed, learned something new. Getting this dashboard out. Once again, not as easy as the newer ones, but nonetheless it's doable. It's really not that hard. The concept's really easy. It's just more of a matter of getting all those wires out of the way. But you can see in here, this truck's gutted. This thing's really gutted. And I'm sure you guys will have seen this prior, because this video will be published a little bit later. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next video.